All right, so I'm going to go over this assignment that you're going to be working on this week. Um, we're going to be defining the First Amendment through Supreme Court cases. So, we've been talking about the First Amendment, specifically looking at religion and freedom of speech. We're going to be seeing that in action by looking at some very important Supreme Court cases. So, you're going to be assigned in a group and you will conduct research on a First Amendment Supreme Court case within your group, and you have to explain what significant impact the case had on the United States. You will create at least a 4 to 5 slide Google presentation on your case that answers the questions below. Be sure to define the vocab words specific to your case. Divide up the slides in your group. Everyone should participate in presenting your case to the class. So your homework for tonight is to look up your case and answer the questions below. And then we will be doing the presentations on Thursday. So it needs to be uploaded by then. So you'll have some time in class over the next couple days to work on it. 4 to 5 slides that answers all the questions and highlights your key vocabulary. You may not use any font smaller than 30. All right. I want to make sure that you are expanding on what you have on your slides, not just reading off your slides. So just putting a few words on there. You need to include at least 3 visuals over the 4 to 5 slides. Don't just read off your slides. Explain, present, and try to engage the class in a brief discussion. Keep it interesting. Then the questions are below. Make sure you tell us what the name of your case is and what year it was before the Supreme Court. Give a little bit of background of the case, so like what's happening, what led to it becoming to the Supreme Court, what was the outcome of the case, who won, what was the rationale for the Supreme Court's decision, and then how did this case have an impact on how we live today. These are the different cases we're going to be looking at. I do have an example below that we're going to look at, but some of the key vocabulary is listed next to each case. All right, so I'm going to give you all a number in class next time I see you, and then that's going to be your group, and then the number will also match up to the Supreme Court case you will be presenting. We are going to be looking at this is the example that I made for this activity. So one of them being Schneck versus the United States. This was a case that took place in 1919. Facts on the case. Charles Schneck and Elizabeth Bayer passed out leaflets saying the draft violated the 13th Amendment. So they were going against the First World War, and they didn't believe that people should have to be drafted. They thought that was going against their 13th Amendment and encouraged people to disobey the draft, but they were encouraging them to do it peacefully. So obviously, government not super duper excited about that. So it does go to the Supreme Court, and it is a unanimous decision. So that means all 9 justices agreed that that was not something they could be doing, and that did violate, that the case did not violate their First Amendment rights. So the Supreme Court said that Espionage Act did not violate the First Amendment. The courts had greater regard for the government during wartime. And then there was an example of clear and present danger because people were not protesting peacefully. And that encouraged people to protest, but not act peacefully when they protested. A quote from the decision: words which ordinarily and in many places would be within the freedom of speech protected by the First Amendment may become subject to prohibition when of such a nature and used in such circumstances as to create a clear and present danger that they will bring about the substantive evils which Congress has a right to prevent. So that's kind of their reasoning as to why they voted the way they did. Lasting impact. Throughout the 1920s, however, the court abandoned the clear and present danger rule and instead utilized an earlier devised bad or dangerous tendency doctrine, which enabled speech to be limited even more broadly than Holmes had allowed. So that was a previous case. And then I have my works cited, which you should always do when you are looking up different cases and looking up specifically quotes such as like I used here. And then, of course, images came from that site as well.